Hello, I'm mindful that I'm just a head now. I'm not even a head and shoulders. So I'm going to shuffle my way back to my mat. So if we all get into all fours position, please. And when we come into all fours, I'll remind you that it's nice to have the wrists under the shoulders, have the elbows soft so that there's almost a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of give in the elbows so they're not locked out. And we want to position the knees hip-width distance apart. Let's just start by turning the toes under. So tonight I want you to kind of get used to that action of stretching out the soles of the feet. So I have bunions, so particularly for me, this is quite hard. So I'm pushing into the underside of the toes, trying to really pull out that space where the big toe mound is, lengthening the soles of the feet. And then soften the lower back. Let the lower back release so that we're creating a gentle curve. For now, just keep your gaze down towards the fingers. Then as you exhale, draw the tummy button in. Keep those toes turned under as you roll up through the spine. Take as long as you like. It's a gentle, long stretch here. Nodding the chin towards the chest. Tucking the tailbone under. Then we'll relax those toes by resting on the tops of the feet and changing the angle of that curve. So we're bringing the belly to soften again. This time lengthening the sternum forward, lifting the gaze a little. So as you exhale, bring the toes back into flexion, rolling through the spine. As you inhale, resting on the tops of the feet, drawing the sternum forward. Exhale, roll up, gently nod that chin to the chest. Inhale, lift the sternum forward, release through the lower back. Beautiful. Now come back to neutral spine position. I'm mindful that tonight I'm wearing quite a baggy t-shirt, but the intention is that as we exhale, we're drawing that tummy button in, we're broadening through the hips, through the lower back, widening through the shoulder blades, and just keeping that little bit of control as we engage the core. Now walk both hands forward. Neatly, my fingertips come towards the end of the mat. Be mindful here not to lock the elbows out, keep them soft again. And on the next exhalation, push the sit bones back towards the heels. Try to keep the palms pressed into the mat. So it feels like quite an active stretch through the upper arms, into the armpits, into the side of the ribcage. We'll all make a different shape here. I haven't quite got the flexibility tonight to get my sit bones all the way back to the heels, but I'm happy I'm getting a nice long stretch through the spine. On the inhalation, lift the fingertips from the mat, press the wrist to the floor and keep pushing the sit bones a little bit further towards the back of the room. That creates a nice opening under the shoulder blades. Then replace the palms, lower down onto the elbows, slide the chest forward, walk both feet back, bringing the thighs, belly and the chest to the floor. You can let your forehead rest between the hands. Let's position the elbows either side of the chest, the palms either side of the head, and just take a moment to gently roll through the forehead. So we're gently releasing through the back of the neck, bringing one ear parallel to the floor, then the other. As you bring the head back to centre, inhale to widen through the collarbones. As you exhale, draw that tummy button in, just so that you can feel a gentle lift. Then on the next inhalation, push into the thighs, lift the sternum forward, turn your gaze ahead. On your exhale, remind yourself to soften the shoulders. Then inhale to look over the right shoulder. Exhale to come back to centre. Inhale to look over the left shoulder. Exhale, come back again to centre. Then lower all the way down once more. Changing the hand position now, we're bringing the elbows out to the side as we stack one palm on top of the other. And once again, we'll replace the forehead onto the back of the hands. So we're rolling through the forehead again, bringing one ear parallel to the floor, then the other. Gently opening up the back of the neck, bringing the head back again to centre. On the inhale, widen through the chest. On the exhale, engage the core, push into the thighs. Reposition the hands either side of the chest. Draw the elbows in, push into the thighs. Inhale to lift and create this lengthened stretch into cobra pose. On the exhalation, engage the core, push the sit bones back towards the heels. This time I'm going to let you lift the fingertips from the mat and lower the forehead a little deeper towards the mat. I still like that sense of the ears between the upper arms, but this is just helping to open out the forearms, relax the wrists, lengthen through the spine. Now lift yourself back up into an all fours position, knees once more under hips, wrists under shoulders, spreading the fingers a little. So we're going to keep the neutral spine, drawing the tummy button in, striking the right foot back, turning the toe under. So we're back into that long stretch through the foot that we found earlier. By gently drawing the heel towards the floor, we're bringing that stretch into the calf, in behind the ankle, and bring that knee back in. Let's take a moment to extend the opposite leg back. And I'm just taking a moment to have a look here that we're creating a diagonal. Try to double check that you haven't either lifted the shoulders, therefore rounding the lower back, or maybe lifted the bottom. Try to keep long that diagonal line as you push through the heel. Then bring that knee back into centre. Beautiful. Let's bring that right knee forward this time. So instead of taking the leg back, we're going to bring the right knee forward. So we're creating a 90-degree angle with both knees. The left shin is on the floor. The right knee is, I guess, in line with the shoulder. I have this problem, and I always point out that my knees tend to roll in. So let's make sure that the knee is positioned over the second toe. And we're just going to take our bricks if we have them. And we're just going to, for a moment, lean forward onto the bricks on their highest profile. So shuffle the bricks a little further forward than the foot. And as you're leaning into the top of the bricks, let that left hip flexor go. So you're driving that open hip towards the mat. Let's see how it feels to come a little lower on the bricks. Opening into that hip flexor. It may be to become completely flat on the bricks. Just keep easing into that gentle stretch, not overdoing it. Beautiful. Walk the bricks back up to their highest profile just to help yourself get back to centre. And strike the right knee back. We'll do the same shape on the other side. So left foot comes forward. We start at the highest profile. The first action is to open out that back hip. Sometimes this isn't lovely on the back, on the knee. Then lower down to the profile that you need. We'll just find a little extra stretch here. All in the hip flexors. Coming down onto that lowest profile. And again, using the bricks to help bring you back up to an upward position. Perfect. Turn the back toe under, push into the bricks, and lift that back knee off the mat. So without thinking about this too much, your back toe's probably turned out. So let's just bounce that back foot out so that it's basically in parallel with the front foot. Is that the right word? So that you're on train tracks. Then ease that back heel to the mat. So if you're too far, that feels too tight on the calf. Draw the shoulder blades together. Start to slightly draw the left knee back, so you're lengthening that left leg. Then on the out breath, bring the belly towards the chest. Again, we're working with the bricks, just to find a little bit of support here as we ease into this forward fold. You might want to bring the forehead towards the shin, but be mindful of compromising too much on this front knee. In an ideal world, we're lengthening that back leg, then turning again to the highest profile of your brick, inhaling to lift the chest forward, keep gently pressing into that back heel. Beautiful. Then step both feet together. So I'm still using the bricks, I'm not fully folded here. Lengthening through the sternum. Then as you exhale, turn the bricks down, bringing the belly towards the thighs. Turn the bricks flat, nodding the forehead towards the shins. Then bring your gaze forward, come up again into the highest profile of the brick. Now taking the left foot back, easing that heel towards the floor. So remember, if you overstretch here, simply bounce that back foot in. Make sure that the feet are like train tracks, lifting through the sternum, lifting the tailbone, then working down through the brick to just bring the upper body weight to rest against the thigh. As you come to the lowest profile, start to nod the forehead towards the shin. Keep pressing the sit bones back, gently lengthening that front leg. Then again, we'll come back into the full forward fold. So I'm going to use the bricks in their highest profile to step together. That feels a bit more even than it did the last time. Lifting the tailbone first. So I'm going to move one of these bricks out of the way. I'm going to bring the solitary brick to its lowest profile and bring the flats of the palms onto that brick. Try to keep nice and long in that space between the back of the head and the tailbone, lifting the tailbone, bringing the belly to the thighs, tucking the chin under. Beautiful. Then bring that brick up to its highest profile, just so you can use it as a springboard to lift yourself up into a standing position. Beautiful. Okay, let's get those both bricks onto the mat again, and we'll just pop them towards the front. Ace. For now, we won't use them, but we know that they're there. So taking the hands on the hip, strike the right foot back, and again we want that sense of the feet are on train tracks. So I've got quite wide hips, so I know that I need to make my stride quite wide. Come into a gentle bend into that front knee. So it might be as much as 90 degrees, that might be too far. What you want to avoid is bringing the knee forward of the toe. We just want to stay in this angle. Now bring the hands to an Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. As you inhale, lift the arms up. And we're just firstly going to find a comfortable position. So my favourite spot is to bring the ears between the upper arms and then soften the shoulders back and down. I can feel that front knee is rolling in, so I'm going to sneak it back out over the second toe. Then inhale, lift the gaze, open the sternum, and just allow yourself a little release through the spine. Then as you exhale, engage the core, bring the gaze forward, bring the hands back to an Anjali Mudra at heart space. Perfect. Now reposition the hands on the hips. We're coming to straighten this front leg. So lengthen the front leg. On the exhale, coming to a hinge. Ideally, we want the shoulders parallel to the floor. We want to avoid curving the spine, so there's no rush here. We're working again to press the sit bones back to keep a nice line between the back of the head and the tailbone. The left foot is extended forward, so bring your right arm forward, press through the fingertips, let the ear rest to the inside of that upper arm, push the sit bones to the back of the room. Perfect. Now bring the hand back onto the hip, come back again into that soft bend on the front knee. Beautiful. I might run out of space here. So we're going to widen the arms now, bringing that back foot off the floor so you're onto the ball of that foot. And as you exhale, bend the back knee, lowering down towards the floor. As you inhale, lift the arms up overhead. So exhale, widen. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, widen. Inhale, lengthen. Perfect. Bring the hands back to that Anjali Mudra. On the out breath now, hinge forward once more. Bring the hands to rest on top of your bricks in their highest profile. Now push into that front foot, lift the back leg. So for now, there's no balance. We're just going to set the technique. Bring the hips square to the floor. Lift the sit bones, widen through the chest. Your choice whether you want to just stay with the hands on the brick, or if you prefer to extend probably the opposite arm forward. So let's make sure that back leg is nice and long and straight, looking a little bit droopy. Hips are square. If your right leg is back, your left arm will be forward, thusly. Then replace that palm to the brick, replace that foot to the mat, widen the arms, soft bend to the knees, inhale, lift, bring the arms overhead, look up towards the thumbs, ease back, and come back again to the Anjali Mudra. Perfect. Same sequence on the other side. So make sure that the feet have returned to a hip width distance. Strike the left foot back. Set again, whatever you need to make those train tracks happen. Long on the front leg. Exhale, hinge forward. So shoulders are aiming to be parallel to the floor. Try to soften the toes, lengthen the leg, lifting the kneecap ever so slightly. And coming into that gentle bend on the front knee. Coming onto the ball of the back foot. Use the bricks if you prefer, just to find that balance. And lift the chest, widen the arms, lower that back knee towards the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. This is very much in my way. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. One more time. Exhale, release. And inhale, lift. Beautiful. As you exhale, hinge forward, palms to your bricks. Lift the back leg. Let's have the hips square, the shoulders square. The left leg is extended back now. So let's try to bring the right arm forward. And if you wish, you can try both arms. Don't be a hero. Try to keep that back leg up. Good, there's some lovely long legs here. Then as you exhale, lower the palms, lower the feet, Come once more into that folded release. Take the hands off the bricks, wrap the hands around the elbows. Just hang here for a moment. Then as you inhale, widen the arms, lift the chest. Inhale to lift the arms overhead, look up to the thumbs, ease back, and bring the hands back again to heart. Perfect. Good work. Okay, let's take these bricks off of your mat. Don't want to get in the way. Move ever so slightly away from the wall. I probably won't need to hit the wall anymore, but just in case I do. Let's come into warrior pose. So I'll start just with ease of demonstrating. Left leg forward first, right leg comes back. Try to create a T shape. So you imagine that your right foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat, the front toes pointing straight forward. Keep that nice softness in that front knee, and then you can use your hand to just gently draw that hip back. Perfect, so you won't necessarily be looking at me. What you want to see is a square shape, shoulders above hips. Perfect. Now widen through the arms, turn your gaze over that front arm. I can now see, because there's a mirror there, that my front knees collapse. So bring that knee over the second toe. As you exhale, we want to just travel a little lower. So whenever I say travel lower, what that doesn't mean is moving forward. It means that the sit bones release a little lower towards the floor. So in essence, that inner thigh is doing that external rotation. A couple of you have flagged up that that might be a bit problematic, so don't overdo it. Beautiful. Now sink that front arm onto the front thigh. Keep that right arm up overhead, rotating the hips back, bringing the gaze up towards the fingertips. If that makes you dizzy, look down towards the floor. Beautiful. On the next out breath, we're going to bring that top hand, sink it into the lower back. On the in breath, we're going to lift the front arm and look up. Perfect. So exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. One more, exhale, inhale. On the next exhalation, float the arms back down. You're back in warrior position. Then as you inhale, let the arms come down by your side, straighten your front leg. Turn both toes towards the front of the room, or the side of the room, depending where you are. Hands on hips. Exhale, hinge forward. Oh, did you nearly about to head up the mirror there? Good work. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together. Engage in the core. A little bit of softness in the knees here as we inhale, push into the soles of the feet. Lift back to centre. Lovely. So you're just going to make the same shape on the other side. So we're turning through the right toe. That toe is pointing away. The left foot becomes your stopper. So it's parallel to the back of the mat. It's so warm in here, I can't honestly. It's hot. Hips square, floating into your warrior two. So remember, we want to start out this front knee. You might want to start straight. You might be better with a bit of a bend. You're rolling through the knee. You're trying to turn it down. There is actually like a cold function on it. Bless you. And remember, when we're in warrior, the intention is to sink lower, not to travel forward. So keep that upright action. Then on and out breath, Urdhva Uttanasana. that beautiful diagonal shape. Fingertip, shoulder, side of the rib cage, hip, knee, heel. Beautiful. Then inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lift up, thank you. One more time forward. Jo's missed a couple, she's been sorting the hair, come on. Then inhale, lift. Beautiful. So float back down again into your nice gentle warrior. We can over that front arm. Then we can take our time to soften the arms by our side. Turn that left toe forward, or right, whatever it was, and come into a 90-degree angle. So if you have your bricks to hand, and if coming all the way forward feels like it might be a journey for you tonight, you can use your bricks to help you with the next section. Otherwise, you can just take a little bit of a wider lean forward. So what might work is bringing the fingertips a little bit further away, keeping a softness in the knees, lifting the tailbone, then starting to breathe the elbows towards the floor. So you kind of want to get a sense that you're bringing the top of the head towards the floor. And it's not really my gift tonight, so if I had a brick handy, I'd probably be more comfortable to bring my head onto a brick here. And just pause, lifting the tailbone, widening through the collarbones. Then think about the position of the hands. We want to reposition the hands under the shoulders so that we've got as much support as possible. If, like me, you went a little wider on the legs, heel toe the feet a little further together. Bend the knees, place the hands on the thighs, keep looking down, engage the core, push into the soles of the feet. Inhale to lift, and then step the feet together. Just like that. Easy peasy. I do feel like I'm in the sauna, I'm not going to lie. You're sticking to the back of my neck. That's a nice picture for you all. I think it just takes a minute, it will. You're all like, oh yeah, don't pretend you're working hard, Angela, we know. Right, inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Y shape, so we're pressing through the fingertips, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. Think about the shape that you're making here, so avoid where you can this action. So some of you know that you have a tendency to push forward on the hips. Let's try to bring the thighs back, tuck the tailbone under, lift the rib cage off the belly, pressing through the fingertips. Beautiful. Now step the feet a little further apart, hip width distance. Take the left hand to grab hold of the right wrist. Inhale to lift. As you exhale, ease over. Now it might take 2 or 3 breaths to get that nice even stretch through the side of the waist and the rib cage. Then inhale back to centre, opposite hand to opposite wrist. Lift up on the breath in, on the breath out. Give it large. Easing into this space. Beautiful. Then inhale, lift. Come back to centre. Bring the hands back to an Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. So you've already reset the feet, possibly a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, back by leg shoulder width. Let's keep the hands at the Anjali Mudra, but the elbows and the shoulders are soft, so there's no lifting. On an out breath, draw the tummy button in and push the sit bones back. On an in breath, push into the soles of the feet and mindfully roll those knees out over the second toes. On an out breath, keep pushing back. On an in breath, find that space between the belly and the thighs. And we're coming into what feels like a squat pose. So I'll turn side on so that you can see the shape. So we don't want all the weight going forward. You'll notice that the weight is positioned back. The sit bones are parallel to the floor, and that the shoulders are nice and soft, the elbows are relaxed. Beautiful. Work with the breath to cool this action down, paying particular attention to breathing all the way to the thighs. Then on the next inhalation, push into the soles of the feet, lift up. Again, keep those thighs back. Don't be tempted to shoot the hips forward. Lift the sternum, look up to the thumbs, open the upper thoracic spine, keep those hips in check. Then as you exhale, come back into that Anjali Mudra, but keep coming through a 90-degree angle. Keep coming through. Bring the fingertips towards the floor. Soften the knees, not locked out. Lifting the tailbone. Breathing the belly towards the thighs. Perhaps wrapping the hands around the back of the ankles. Exhaling to breathe the belly a little closer to the thighs. Inhaling now to widen the arms. Lift the chest. Look up to the thumbs. And ease back. Then on and out breath. Engage the core. Bring the hands back. To heart space. Perfect. Feet again, hip width distance apart. Just keep the hands in Anjali Mudra for now. Just keep them out of the way. So let's lift the right heel. So all we're doing is coming up onto the ball of that right foot. So we're back into that territory of stretching out the sole of the foot, of working that big toe joint. Replace that heel to the floor, transition to the other side. So we're pushing into the ball of the foot. It almost looks as though one or two of you are up on the toe. Try to bring the flat of the big toe to the floor. Beautiful. Yes. Then we'll transition through the feet. So it's quite an exaggerated move, but you're really actively working through the soles of the feet. Beautiful. Perfect. Now let's lift both heels. Then on the out breath, let's repeat that chair pose. So we're pushing the sit bones back, but the heels remain up. Focus on the breath, that will help with the balance. Shoulders back and down. Keep the heels up. We're just going to do that little transition again while we're in this nice low posture. So right heel to the floor, then left heel to the floor. Transition, transition, transition. Both heels to the floor. Push down into the soles of the feet. Lift up. Lift the arms overhead. Shoulders relaxed. Lift through the sternum. Keep the hips where they are. Rather than folding forward this time, bring the hands back to heart. Widen the arms. So stretch the fingertips out to the side. Bring the fingertips in towards the palms, thumbs up. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together. Lift through the sternum. Don't mind doing all these heating poses. You don't need it. I can feel that now is nice. Beautiful. So remain active in this posture. Tummy button drawn in. Thighs lifted. Knees ever so slightly lifted but not locked. Shoulders relaxed. A little bit of a wiggle with the fingertips. Isolate the wrists. 3 circles forward. 3 circles back. Bring the hands to flexion, pushing through the heels of the hand. So make slightly bigger circles now, using the whole of the arm so you can feel that action in the socket at the shoulders. Change direction. So it's kind of helpful to think of the shoulders as a ball and socket joint, but of course it's not, it's a gliding joint. It just feels as if it's got the same range of movement. Let's bring both arms up overhead. Beautiful. Let's bring the right arm forward, the left arm back. So right arm goes forward, left arm travels back. Just when you thought the brain could cope, we go and fry it all and go the opposite way. So left arm forward, right arm back. Bring both arms up. Bring the palms together. Lengthen through the fingertips, ears between the upper arms, shoulders relaxed back and down. Tummy button drawn in, thighs lifted, toes fully touching the floor. Inhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet. As you exhale, bring the heels down. Bring the hands back to heart. Big breath in. Out breath, back to chair. Shoulder blades drawn together, pushing the sit bones back. So we shouldn't be bringing the knees forward of the toes. We want to always have the knees in line with the heels, at least with the ankles. Pressing the sit bones back, widening through the chest. So we're going to stay in this squat type position. The transition is that we will lift up, but when we come back down, we're back in the squat and we're bringing the elbow to the outside of the knee, looking up through the length of the right elbow. Inhale, lift. Then exhale, twist to the opposite side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist, come back to that first side. Inhale, lift. Twist to the opposite side. Beautiful, nice work. Then inhale, come back to center. On the exhale, bring the hands back to heart. Nice. Bring the hands now behind the lower back. So I'm just going to turn side on because it's easier for me to show you. So when the hands are behind the lower back, we want to make sure that we don't kind of bring the upper body weight forward to compensate. So start by rolling the shoulders back, stacking the shoulders over the hips, and then watch that the opposite doesn't happen, that we don't end up here. So thighs are pressed back. Work with your own breath, with your own range of movement as you lift the arms away from the lower back. So it's quite a subtle movement. Try not to bounce it, it's not a ballistic action, it's a nice gentle glide. Beautiful. Bring the arms back into the lower back. Then as you exhale, from that same position, come into the 90-degree angle, shoulder blades drawn together. Now lift the arms up again. Some of you will find it easier in this position to lift the arms up. Beautiful. Then so before we go anywhere, I'm not going to move you. I just want you to be mindful that when we're in this position, what we don't want is the head to be heavy. So let's all just bring the back of the head to line up with the back of the tailbone. Soften the knees a little. Lower the hands so that they rest on the hips. Push into the soles of the feet. Inhale to lift up. Beaut. Okay, something a bit more static now. So we'll come into mountain pose. So in our Tadasana again, heels under hips, soften the knees, engaged in the thighs, tailbone tucked under. For now, we're just going to turn the palms to the front of the room because we don't want to think about them. And sometimes when the hands are here, there's a tendency to lift the shoulders, so we just want the upper body to feel heavy. So coming up again onto the ball of the right foot, that lovely long stretch along the sole of the foot, then rotate the right knee out and bring that right heel to rest above the ankle bone. Beautiful. So again, I'll bring attention to my hips because I'm quite hippy. I have a tendency in this posture, because I know it's coming, I tend to stick out the standing leg hip. Try to bring the hips square. And think about lifting the weight of your shoulders and your upper body by fundamentally lifting the rib cage up away from the ribs. You can keep your hands here by your side as you slide the sole of the foot to just cup round the calf muscle. Try not to bring that heel up to the knee joint, it doesn't do the knee joint any good. And then keep rotating that knee out. Now at this point, the hands might actually feel like they're not helping balance. So if you feel like grabbing hold of the opposite ear works for you, give it a go. You might want to bring the hands to heart. You might want to be super fancy and bring the arms overhead. But if you do, try not to sacrifice and compromise what's going on in the lower body. Beautiful. I can tell what's going on here. So roll that knee back in, replace that foot to the floor. Now breathe. Because I could see it in your face, you were all going, I'm balancing and therefore I have to hold my breath and I can't think about anything else, and my God, you just ran out of breath. So when we do it on the other side, it's going to be a lot easier because you're going to remember to breathe, aren't we? So again, you can start with your hands by your side, shuffle the shoulders if you're feeling heavy and tense, come up onto the ball of the left foot, roll that knee out. So I like this action of just placing the heel above the ankle. I think it helps you to remember the stacking in this posture. And quite honestly, if you get your setup correct here, you are working as hard here as you are when we get into the balance. So if you're genuinely lifted and lengthening, rotating the knee out, lifting through the buttocks, engaging the core, this is quite a big workout. If you wish, you can add the balance by sliding the foot up. And remember, you're almost allowing the sole of the foot to cup the calf muscle. I can see the hands are a bit Kate Bush now. That's okay. Just find a position that works for you. So, back to the breath. Find a point on the horizon, try not to look down, and lock your eyes in that point, and give yourself a full breath in to a count of 4, and a full breath out to the count of 4. And if I'm your target on the horizon, I wouldn't recommend it because I'm too wobbly. Find something that ain't going to move. One further full breath rotation. And when you're ready, roll the knee forward, replace the foot to the floor. Take the feet a little wider, soften the knees. Inhale, lift the arms up, but dead soft. As you exhale, bend the knees, let it go. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 3 more, because it just feels good. Last one. Beautiful. Bring the arms down by your side and step the feet together. Beautiful. Y'all feeling a bit warm now? Probably said it was cold and wintry outside. Let's have you lying down on your backs. Yes! The bit you've been waiting for. Beautiful. So as soon as you come to make contact with your back on the floor, I want you to kind of notice where you're kind of like quick to touch and where there's kind of like still a little bit of a gap. So when we've done a lot of that standing postures, sometimes we over-recruit the erector spinae, so that's the small muscles of the back that work to keep the spine erect, as the name would suggest, rather than using the core. So it might be that particularly in the middle back, that you feel those muscles are quite tight. So we just want to take a few moments focusing on the breath, breathing to that space in the middle back. So when you inhale, you're really thinking about that expansion and widening through the back of the rib cage. And then as you exhale, Let the flaps of the shoulder blades sink. Let the back of the hips sink. And just feel all that space in between spread and release. So we'll continue inhaling to widen through the middle back. Exhaling to soften, release, release, release. Inhale to widen. Exhaling again to fully release. So without overthinking it, find the rhythm of breath that feels most natural to you. Mindful that we want to take a little bit of time here to recharge our bodies. So sending the breath to the parts of the body that need it most. With every exhalation, feel your body becoming heavier, more relaxed. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully. Allowing anything that doesn't serve you to release fully through the out breath. Sending positive energy to the parts of the body that need it more. Each full in-breath. Now just for a moment, just allow my voice to become background noise. As you tune into your body, listen to the messages coming back from your body. Honour what your body needs. Perhaps your body is telling you to slow the breath down. Perhaps you feel that you want to hold the breath as you come to the end of your next deep inhalation. Perhaps your body is ready for every full exhalation. That sense of any tension in your body being carried away. Work with the breath to find your center, your place of quiet and calm. Shanti. Feel the weight of your body against the floor beneath you. Become aware of your space within this room. And start to slowly return sensation to the physical body. Moving the fingers and toes. Moving the jaw and the nose. Perhaps taking a long stretch through the body. Or if you prefer, hugging the knees towards the chest. Taking your time to release again, to feel into your body once more. Reawakening. Take a moment to roll to one side, pausing there to blink the eyes open. And when you're ready, return to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to an angelic mudra. Touch to the head for kind thoughts, to the lips for kind words, and to the heart for kind intentions. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. With the whispered Namaste in the corner there. Thank you, chaps.
Thank you, Angela.
I hope I didn't break you.